Hello, it's Monday evening. I'm recording the daf for Shabbos Daf Chav Hey. Unfortunately, yesterday, as I was recording, it cut off in mid-sentence. So we'll go back to four lines from the bottom of Chav Dalet Amud Beis. What we were discussing was the Mishnah said that you're not allowed to light Shemen Shel Truma Tmeya B'Yontiv. Why? Because Truma Tmeya needs to be destroyed, and Ein Sarfin Kachim B'Yontiv. You're not allowed to burn Kachim B'Yontiv. Why not? So far we had two reasons. Actually, one reason. Chizkiah said, and it was taught in the yeshiva of Chizkiah, that the pasuk says regarding the Korban Pesach, Lo siru mimenu ad boker, don't leave the Korban Pesach until the morning, and v'anoiser mimenu, whatever is left over, ad boker, until the morning, v'esh tisraifu. That second ad boker is superfluous to tell me that Ein Sarf and Kachim on the morning of Yontiv on the 15th, but you have to wait for the morning of Chol Hamoed. Let's be patient. Abaya gave a second reason. He said it says Oilas Shabbos b'Shabbatoi, meaning that if you sacrifice Tamidin and Musafin on Shabbos, you're allowed to be maktir the Evorim of the Oilas Tamidim and the Oilas Musafin afilu b'Shabbos. Same goes for Yontiv also. If you have Karbanis on Yontiv, you're allowed to be maktir the parts on Yontiv. But if you have a korban from Erev Shabbos or Erev Yontiv, you're not allowed to be maktir it b'Yontiv. So Erev Shabbos' korbanos have to be done by Erev Shabbos before night, and Erev Yontiv also. So if you're not allowed to do Haktorah on the Mizbeach on Shabbos and Yontiv, certainly you shouldn't be just burning Kachim Psulim on Yontiv. So that's why you can't burn Kachim Psulim Yontiv. Now we'll start from Rava. Amar Rava says, Amar Kro, there's a pasuk regarding the allowance to do Malach on Yontiv for Eichel Nefesh. The Torah says, Hu levada ye'asa lachem, it alone may be done for you. Who, you're allowed to do Malacha for Eichel Nefesh, v'loi machshirin, but not preparatory things, like you're not allowed to sharpen a knife in order to shech. You're not allowed to fix a pot or a stove or an oven in order to be able to cook. The word levadai teaches me v'loi mila shalei bizmana, and you're not allowed to do a bris mila on Shabbos or Yontiv. You're not, if it's past the 8th day. Wait for after Yontiv. And the Asya b'Kal V'Chaimer, because I could have made a Kal V'Chaimer. So let me first explain this Kal V'Chaimer. That's where I got stuck yesterday, the recording turned off. Let's say A, B, C, D. Let's say that D is Shabbos. C, working my way back, is Avodah. B is Tzaras. And A is Mila. Let me do that again. A is Mila, B is Tzaras, C is Avodah, and D is Shabbos. What am I talking about? Shabbos is important, but Avodah, C, is stronger than Shabbos, because you're allowed to do Avodah Sakarbanas on Shabbos. Avodah is important, but nevertheless, if a Kayan has Tzaras, he's not allowed to do Avodah, and he's not allowed to cut off the Tzaras in order to do Avodah. So as important as Avodah is, Tzaras is more important, that you can't remove the Tzaras in order to do Avodah. Avodah is very important, but if somebody were to have Tzaras on the Orla, which is B'mokay Mila, he's allowed to cut it off. So Mila is more important than Tzaras, because for the purpose of Mila, you're allowed to remove Tzaras. Tzaras is more important than Avodah, because if a Kayan has Tzaras, he can't do Avodah. Avodah is more important than Shabbos, you're allowed to do Avodah b'Shabbos. So taking logic to its logical conclusion, Mila, even Mila Shalai Bizmana, which you'd be allowed to do even to remove Tzaras, should be more important than Shabbos, or Yontif. That's why the Pasuk says Levado. Levado means you can't do it b'Shabbos or Yontif. For as far as Shabbos is concerned, you have to wait for Sunday. As far as Yontif is concerned, you have to wait for the day after Yontif. The moral of the story is that something, even though it's a mitzvah, but if it can be done after Shabbos v'Yontiv, do it after Shabbos v'Yontiv and not on Shabbos v'Yontiv, like Mila Shalei Bizmana. So the same thing, Kodshim, that need to be destroyed and burned, even though it's important, it's a mitzvah, but if you can do it after Yontiv or after Shabbos, don't do it b'Shabbos v'Yontiv. I'm continuing, and then we'll work our way back. Ravashi says Shabbosain. Yontif, there's a mitzvah aseh of Shabbosain, to cease and rest is an aseh, it's a positive commandment. Vavla Yontif aseh, so Yontif is an aseh, v'lois aseh. Shabbosain is the mitzvah aseh, and kol melechas avodah loisas is the lois aseh. The ein aseh, the mitzvah aseh of burning kachim, is not doicha a lois aseh v'aseh. It's not doicha lois v'aseh. So let me pause for a minute, because Rashi here points out a massive ha'ara, but Rashi just does it smoothly. So if somebody has, let's say, kodshim psulim, a korban that became tameh or yaitze or any posel, there are 4 reasons, or nicer, you can't burn it on yantiv. And I'm going to chazah the 4 reasons. Number 1, the pasuk says you have to burn it ad baiker, only on the morning of Chalamoid, not on yantiv. The pasuk says on Shabbos v'yantiv you can only burn those korbanos that you sacrifice on Shabbos v'yantiv, but not korbanos from erev Shabbos v'yantiv, and certainly you can't destroy kachim v'yantiv. The Torah says that if you can do milah shalei bizmana after Shabbos v'yantiv, don't do it on Shabbos v'yantiv. So the same way, if you can burn kachim not on Shabbos v'yantiv but after Shabbos v'yantiv, so wait for it then. And also because burning kachim is a mitzvah saseh, and yantiv is a lois saseh v'aseh. So for 4 reasons, you're not allowed to burn kachim b'yantiv because you're not allowed to, okay? But the kasha is, with truma tmeya, if I'm going to light it, forget about the burning of the truma tmeya, forget about the burning of the kachim, but you're allowed to light a ner on yantiv. So if I'm allowed to light the ner, so I'm lighting a ner for oichel nefesh. Havora on yantiv is mutter. So why can't I light it? I ain't surfing kachim b'yantiv. Okay, so ain't surfing kachim b'yantiv. I'm not being surf kachim. I'm lighting neiris. So Rashi says that since kachim are aser, since the korbanos, menachos, and zvachim, there were psulim, you're not allowed to burn it b'yantiv because ain't surfing kachim b'yantiv for 4 reasons. So therefore, the Chachamim said she ain't surfing any kachim b'yantiv. Even though when you want to burn truma tameya, you want to light your ner with it, which should be okay. But since it is kachim, so across the board, they said, ein sarfin kachim b'yantiv. Rashi says, hoil v'havoras shar kachim, she'enan enihem nesarin, since the destruction of other kachim, where you have no benefit from it in yantiv, is prohibited, gamzu lo yatsa min haklal. They made a blanket rule not to destroy any kachim on yantiv, even though when you want to burn truma tameya, forget about the destruction of kachim, the destruction of truma tameya, I'd like to light a ner. Zog the Gemara, Yontiv Hudasir. So on Yontiv, you're not allowed to light Truma Tmei. Habachal Shaper Dami. But during the week, if you have Truma Tmei, you're allowed to light it and benefit from the light. Right? It's Mutter B'Hana. My time. Why? Amar Rav. So Rav says, Keshem Shemitzvah Lisref HaKodshim Shenitmu. Just like there's a mitzvah to burn Kodshim, like Menachos and Zvochim that became Tamei, there's a mitzvah to burn them. Kach Mitzvah Lisref Es HaTruma Shenitmus. The same way there's a mitzvah to burn a Truma that became Tamei. Very interesting. Rashi says, one pshat, that truma is similar to kaidish. Just like kaidish needs to be burnt, truma needs to be burnt. Rashi says another pshat, the reason you need to destroy truma tameya is so you shouldn't come to eat it. The Tosfos says, according to the second reason, you wouldn't have to burn it. If you're comparing it to kachim tameyim, then sreifa is the required means of destruction. If it's so you shouldn't eat it, you can even flush it in the toilet. Tosfos disagrees with Rashi, and Tosfos holds that absolutely you must burn Truma Tameya. There's no option of destroying it in another way. The only issue is we're not sure whether it's Midaraisa, similar to Kachim, or maybe it's Midarabanan. But in any case, Tosfos holds that Truma Tameya must be burnt, and Rashi seems to hold in one shot that you have an option of destroying it in other means. Okay. Now where did the Torah say that you can, I'm sorry, let me do that again. Amarav kashem shemitzvah lisref hakachim shenitmu. The same way there's a mitzvah to burn kachim that became tamei. Kach mitzvah lisref is a truma shenitmu. There's a mitzvah to burn truma that became tamei. But Torah, yet the Torah says b'shas biura tahanim imana. When you're burning it, you can benefit from the burning. V'heichan amra Torah. Where did the Torah say that when you're burning truma tamei, you may benefit from it? So the Gemara brings a few sources. Number 1, Midrash of Nachman. The Amar of Nachman, Amar Rabba bar Avua, he said, Amar Kro, the pasuk says, Hashem spoke to Aaron, Vani hine nasati lecha es mishmeres tru moisai. I've given you the mishmeres, I've given you to observe and be careful with my true mois, which is plural. B'shtei trumas hakosav medaber. Hashem says to Aaron, I'm giving you 2 trumas. Achas truma tahira is for you to eat. Achas truma tmeya, and one is truma tmeya. V'amar Rachmana, and the Torah says, I've given it lecha to you. How is truma tmeya lecha for you? Shalcha tehei, it's yours. La'asika tachas tafshilcha. You can ignite it, you can set it on fire under your pot of cooked food, and you can use it to heat your pot. So the Torah has allowed you, it's shilcha. Truma tmeya is also yours. Can't eat it, but you can always use it as fuel. Iba is same if you want, it's going to be a proof by implication. Midu Rabbi Abo, something the Rabbi Abo said. Dam Rabbi Abo, Am Rabbi Yochanan. The Torah in Parshas Kisaveh says regarding Maser Sheni that's Tameh, V'loi bi'arti mimenu b'tameh. Now that has two translations. One translation is, I did not consume Maser Sheni when I was Tameh. That's one translation. The other translation is, I did not consume Maser Sheni when it was Tameh. And the consumption means in any kind of consumption, whether eating Maser Sheni that became Tameh, or using it for your benefit when it was Tameh. So the Torah teaches me that when you have Maser Sheni Shenitma, you have to destroy it, but you can benefit from it. But the word is mimenu, from it. Mimenu iyata mavir, avalata mavir, shemen shel truma shenitmis. Maser Sheni that's Tameh, you may not benefit from it when you're destroying it. On the other hand, mimenu, that's the rule regarding it. But truma tameya, when you're destroying it, you may benefit from it. The Gemara asks, if you're making an implication, how do you know to imply that truma tameya is the opposite of maser sheni shenitma? Ve'ema, perhaps we should say, mimenu, from it, you may not benefit from maser sheni that's tameh when you destroy it, iyata mavir, avalata mavir shemen shel kaidish shenitma. What happens if you have oil of a mincha or oil from the menorah of kudishim that became tameh? Maybe you're allowed to benefit from it when you're destroying it and it became tameh. Gemara says, lav kal v'chaimeru. How could you possibly benefit from kudshim that became tameh when you're destroying it? It's a kal v'chaimer. Ma maser hakal. Maser sheni is a lower level of kedusha. It's not a korban. Amra Torah, the Torah says, lo bi'arti mimenu b'tameh. I did not benefit from it when I destroyed it when it was tameh. So kaidish, kudshim chomer, which is so strict because it's called a korban, like kol sheken, isn't it for sure more so that you can't benefit from it when you're destroying it? Well, ihachi, if that's true, then truma nami lema. Truma is also more kaidish than maser sheni. Let us say kal v'chaimeru. If maser sheni, which is mutter to non-kohanim, you're not allowed to benefit from it when you're destroying it when it's tameh. Truma, which is prohibited to non-kohanim, for sure you shouldn't benefit from it when you're burning it when it's tameh. Mimenu. But there's a mimenu that means maser sheni shenitma no, but something else shenitma yes. Umara isa, okay. So maser sheni shenitma, you can't benefit from it when you're destroying it. What did you see to make the alternative that truma tameya you're allowed to benefit when you're destroying it, as opposed to kachim tameim? How did you choose? More says mistavra, it's logical. Kaidish lo mima'itna. Kaidish, I'm not going to exclude. In the same way, it's usher to benefit from aser sheni shenitma when you're destroying it. For sure, it's usher to benefit from kaidish shenitma when you're destroying it, because there's a siman pei nun kuf ayin kaf samach. In kachim there exists pigul. In kachim there exists noiser. Kachim is called a korban, whether it's kachim mizbeach or even kachim berek abayis. In kachim there is mila. If somebody's tameh eats kachim, is chayv kares, and kachim is usher to an einan. As opposed to, in Truma there's no pigel, and in Truma there's no noiser. Truma is not called a korban. In Truma there's no me'ila, and if a zar eats Truma, he's not chayv koros, he's chayv misa b'dei shamayim, and Truma is mutter to an einan. So therefore these are 6 stringencies of kachim over Truma. And therefore it is logical that kachim tameim you're not allowed to benefit from when you're destroying it. Adarabba, au contraire, Truma loy mima'itna, maybe I shouldn't exclude Truma, maybe Truma has some stringencies, because mem ches pei zayin siman, misa, if a zar eats Truma, it's misa b'dei shamayim. Chomesh, if a zar eats Truma b'shaygig, he has to pay back the kain what he ate and add a chaimish. Vein lapidyan, and Truma cannot be redeemed. And ba'asura lezarim, Truma is asur to zarim, whereas kachim is not misa b'dei shamayim. And on kachim, if you eat from a korban, you don't have to be moisef a chaimish. Kachim you can't be a paida, and kachim are not aser lazarim. because the Yisrael can eat Kaidish, and before also Chaimish, also if a Zar eats Kachim Kalim, he doesn't have to be Ma'asev Chaimish. A Zar can eat Kachim Kalim, and it's Mutter Lazorim. There's a Hanach Nefishan. Yes, but there are 6 stringencies of Kachim and only 4 of Truma. And if you want, you could say that stringency against stringency, Kaidish is Chamor, Sheken Onish Koris. If a Tamei man eats a Kachim, he's Chayv Koris. But if a Tamei man, a Kayan, eats Truma, he's Chayv Misa B'dei Shamayim. And Koris is more stringent than Misa B'dei Shamayim, because Koris can cause the loss, Chas v'Shalom, of children as well. Misa B'dei Shamayim not. Okay, so that's the second proof that when you destroy Truma Tmeya, you're allowed to benefit from it. The first one was, Ani hine nosati lecho es mishmeres trumaisai. I've given both trumais to you, the Torah truma to you, kohanim, to eat, and the tamei truma to benefit when you're destroying it. And lebiarti mimenu b'tamei, maser sheni, when I destroyed it when it was tamei, I didn't benefit from it, but that's mimenu. Truma, when I destroyed it and it was tamei, I could benefit from it. And the third proof is Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar. He says, Omar Kro, the pasuk says, when you have the gandcha tiroshcha v'yitzarecha titan loy, give it to the kayin. Loy v'loy le'ura, give it to him and not for fire. Meaning, if you have chulin that's tahar, so give him truma, but don't give him truma tameya against chulin that's tahar. Even though I can say, well, truma tameya he's allowed to use, yeah, but he's going to use it only for fire if you give him truma tameya. So if you have chulin tahirim, separate truma tahira, to give it to him to eat, and don't give him truma tameya that he can only use for fire. But Mechlal, that teaches you dubas urayhu, but he can use it for fire. So if you have chulin tameim, then you'll give him truma tameya, and he'll use it for his fire, and that's allowed. But if you have chulin tahira, make sure you give him truma tahira. Rabbi Shmuel says not to use itran. Itran was a residue after you boil tar, mipnei kavod Shabbos. Why is itran a problem with kavod Shabbos? Rava says mitoch shereicha ra, it has a bad odor. Gzeira, there's a fear. Gzeira shema yanichanu v'yetze. He's going to leave the table because the neiros smell bad. Amalei Abayis said v'yetze, and why does it bother me if he leaves the room? Amalei, so Rava explained, Shani Aimer, because I say hadlokas ner b'Shabbos chayva. There's an obligation to light neris Shabbos, and not only is it for shalom bayis, that people should see where they're going around in the house, but it's also for kavod Shabbos that the table should be candle lit. And if he's going to leave the table, then there's no kavod Shabbos. Amar of Nachman bar Rav Zavda, Amri lo, some say Amar of Nachman bar Rav Amarav, Hadlokas ner b'Shabbos is chayva. Lighting ner Shabbos is chayva. And chayva means it's so you have kavod Shabbos at the table. Rechitzas yadayim v'raglayim b'chamen arvis rishus. Washing your hands and feet in warm water, erev Shabbos is optional. Ani Aimer, and I say it's a mitzvah to wash your hands and feet and face erev Shabbos. Watch out, they use the word arvis here. We'll get back to that word arvis. It doesn't mean at night for sure. My mitzvah, what's the mitzvah? Damar Rav Yudah Marav, Rav Yudah said b'Shem Rav, Kach Hayim and Haggai Shor Rav Yudah bar Eloi, the minig of the Tana, Rav Yudah bar Eloi was, erev Shabbos, on Friday afternoon, Mevian le Areva Malei Achamin, they would bring him a bowl full of hot water, and he was Reichetz Panav Yodav Raglav. He washed his face, his hands, and his feet. Then he would be Mis'ata V'yoshev B'sadin and Hametzu Yatzin. Interesting. He wrapped himself in a linen garment which had woolen tzitzis on it, because he felt that since it says Leisil B'shatnas Semer Pishtim Yachtav Gedilim Tasalacha, so because of the smuchim, because of the juxtaposition of tzitzis and shatnas, you're allowed to wear woolen tzitzis on a linen baguette. The esses daichaloisase, v'daima the malach Hashem tzvokes, and he looked like a malach. The Talmidim didn't agree. V'yu Talmid of mechaben mimenu kalvei ksusan. The Talmidim used to hide the corners of their garments when they came to see him, because they did not put woolen tzitzis on their linen garment. They put linen tzitzis on their linen garment. Omar lohem, so Rabbi Yudah bar Biloi said, Banai, my children, Lo kach shonisi lechem, didn't I teach you sadin b'tzitzis, a linen garment with woolen tzitzis, Beishamai paitrin. Beishamai says you're potter, and Beis Hillel machayven. Beis Hillel is machayv because esed leichaloisese. V'halocha kediver Beis Hillel. Halocha is like Beis Hillel. So therefore, you're allowed to wear woolen tzitzis on your linen garments. Behinu savri, the Talmidim held gezerah mishum ksus laila. The Talmidim held the halacha is like Beis Hillel, that in principle woolen tzitzis can be put on a linen garment. But what happens if you have a linen garment that's a night garment, or during the night, where there's no mitzvah of tzitzis, and you have woolen tzitzis on a linen garment, you'll have the lav of shatnas without the essay. So therefore, because of the gzeira of Ksus Laila, they put linen tzitzis on their linen garments. So the way Tosfos brings, that Rashi writes in a tshuva, the conversation was as follows. Rabbi Yehuda bar Rabbi Eloi held that according to Beis Hillel, woolen tzitzis can be put on a linen garment. That's what Beis Hillel held. That's what he did. The Talmidim felt that even according to Beis Hillel, there should be a gzeira that if you put woolen tzitzis on a linen garment, you might come to do it on a night garment where you'll have the sin and not the mitzvah. So what they did was they put linen tzitzis on their linen garment, which was wonderful. But they were afraid to appear like that in front of Rabbi Yehuda bar Rabbi Eloi, because they would show that they're afraid of a gzeira that he's not afraid of, so they hid their tzitzis. He thought, since there was hidden, maybe they didn't put tzitzis on at all. So he says to them, my friends, my Talmidim, Bonai, Beis Shammai says that you don't put tzitzis on, but Beis Hillel says you can. And therefore that's why he challenged them. But little did he know that they did put tzitzis on. They'd only put linen tzitzis on. By the way, there's some interesting discussions here. Rabbi Yehuda bar Rabbi Eloi, his minig was that on Erev Shabbos they would bring him a bowl and he washed his face, hands, and feet. The Mordechai brings from many Gemaras where it says, remember Hillel on Erev Shabbos was shampooing his hair, others were shampooing their hair, that there's a mitzvah Erev Shabbos to shampoo your head as well. The Tur writes that there's a mitzvah Erev Shabbos to wash your whole body, and the Aruch HaShulchan says that people who go to the mikveh Erev Shabbos attain a certain level of Kedusha. Fine. So now, the Eliyahu Rabbah asks, if the Tur is right, that there's a mitzvah to wash your whole body Erev Shabbos, so why did Rabbi Yehuda bar Rabbi Eloi only wash his face, hands, and feet? So the Achronim give a few answers. One is, the Ravan says that maybe he didn't have enough water for a bath. No, b'shas adchak, he washed his hands, face, and feet. The Aruch HaShulchan brings a Gemara in Nedarim that Rabbi Yehuda bar Rabbi Eloi was ill, and he suffered from headaches, and he couldn't take the steam in a bathhouse, so he couldn't go to the bathhouse, so he washed his face, hands, and feet. The Birkei Yosef says that he saw Hasidim v'Anshe Masa would take a bath and go to the mikveh earlier Friday afternoon, and right before Shabbos they would wash their face, hands, and feet. So according to this, perhaps that's what Rabbi Yehuda bar Rabbi Eloi meant, that he actually had washed his body like the Torah says and had gone to the mikveh earlier Friday afternoon. But right before Shabbos they brought him a bowl that he washed his face, hands, and feet. And perhaps that's why it says Arvis, that's why it says right before night they brought him this areva, this bowl, to wash his face, hands, and feet. The Ramah brings Ahagos Mordechai that one should wash right before Shabbos. And the Mata Moshe says the reason is because the good feeling of having washed should give you that good feeling right into Shabbos. And the Megadim Chadoshim says because it's a simon that you're doing it Mamish L'Kavod Shabbos. What a limud schus for the guys who the last minute take a shower or wash right before Shabbos. They probably want to go into Shabbos with that good feeling of clean, or they really want to show that they're doing it L'Kavod Shabbos. But the Mishnah Berurah says you have to be very careful when you're taking your bath or bathhouse or whatever Erev Shabbos right before Shabbos, not to miss the Zman. Chas v'shulam, you can be Machal Shabbos. I remember I once told a Rav that the finest or most important donation in his shul was the person who donated the big clock in the mikveh, because that's the one that saved people from, in the mikveh, not knowing what time it is, Chas v'shulam, not to be Machal Shabbos. Anyway. Zok the Gemara, Yirmiyahu says in Eicha, Vatiznach mishalom nafshi, my soul abandoned, didn't have peace. Nashisi taiva, I forgot what is good. My vatiznach mishalom nafshi, what does he mean my soul has lost shalom? Amar Ravo zod lokas ner b'Shabbos. After the Churban, people didn't have neirs for Shabbos, so they lost shalom, because neirs b'Shabbos is shalom bayis. Nashisi taiva, I have forgotten what is good. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah zubeis hamerchetz, I don't have a bathhouse, I've forgotten what the good feeling of being able to take a bath. Some say it's Rabbi Abo Rabbi Yochanan. That's what the Bach, Rabbi Chia bar Abba Rabbi Yochanan says. The Bach, it's Rabbi Yochanan says the Mesiris Hashas Zurechitzas Yadayim Varglayim B'Chamen, washing your hands and feet with warm water. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha Mar Zumita Noah V'Kelim Noam Shalel, to have a nice bed with nice bedding. Rabbi Abba Amar Zumita Mitzas, to have a nice bed, Isha Mekushetes L'Talmidei Chachamim. But here Mekushetes, the Mefarshim say, doesn't mean, the Rashba says, it doesn't mean that she has jewelry and it doesn't mean that she has fancy clothing. It means Mekushetes like Keshoit Atzmacha, correct. A Talmid Chacham should have an Isha, a very fine woman, a woman who's a tzadekis with midas noise, and that is that Chas v'Sholem after the Churban people never didn't have. Taner Rabbanan, the Rabbanan taught in the Brayse, Ezu Asher, who is rich, Kol sheyesh lo nachas ruach ba'ashroi. Somebody is satisfied with whatever he has. Whatever he has, he's satisfied with that. And Divrei Rabbi Meir. These are the words of Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Tarfon was a very rich man, so he understood that riches, Kol sheyesh lo mea kramim, mea sades, mea avodim, she'avdim behem. To have 100 vineyards, 100 fields, and 100 slaves. That's rich. Rabbi Kiva says, Kol sheyesh lo isha noah b'masim. Rabbi Kiva says, whoever has an isha that's very good in her masim tovim. Well, Rabbi Kiva had the daughter of Kalba Savua who sent him to learn. So Rabbi Kiva was talking about his own richness. Rabbi Yossi says, Kol sheyesh lo beis hakisa samach l'shulchanai. Somebody that has a beis hakisa that's near the table that he can get to quickly. I remember somewhere where it says Rabbi Yossi was a chayla me'ayim. So each one of these Tanoim understood richness according to his personal needs. Rabbi Yossi, who was a chayla me'ayim, understood it was a bathroom. Rabbi Kiva, who had a wonderful wife, the daughter of Kalba Savua, said it was a good wife. Rabbi Tarfon was rich, had his ideas of wealth. And Rabbi Meir, I'm not sure why Rabbi Meir said, there was some shot, why Rabbi Meir felt that Samech Bechalkai is really rich. Tanya, we learned in a brayser, Shimon Elazar Aimer Emadlikin B'Tzori. You're not allowed to light with tzori. Tzori is what's noiteif me'atze haktaf. It's a sap which smells very good. My time, what's the reason? Amar Rabba says mitach shereichai noideif, because it has such a good aroma. So Gezer, I'm afraid Shama Yistapik, he might take some of that oil out of the lamp to save it for perfume. And then when you take oil out of the lamp, that causes it to go out faster, and you're over machabed. Amalei Abayi questioned, Leimamar, why didn't you say the reason is Mipnei Shehu Af? The vapors of Tzori go into the air and it's highly flammable. The Gemara answers, Chada v'oid kamar. He said 1 and 1. Chada, the first thing is sakanta, danger, Mipnei Shehu Af. The vapors of this Tzori fly in the air, they cling on the wall and it might cause a fire. And second of all, if it smells very good, Gzeir Shema Yistapik Mimenu. You might take some of that tzari out of a container, and you'll be over gram kibui. It was an easier daf today. Finished a little bit faster. I hope so much that everybody's well, and everybody's helping each other. Everybody's being mechazik each other. I just happened to learn today a Gemara in Tanis that Rav Huna used to help a lot of others, and people who helped a lot of others were Zaycha Tarichas Yamim. So, Hashem Yazor, Hashem should help, we should see each other again in good health, without any dagis, without any machlis, without any tsuris, cultive.